Hi everyone, good evening. I think we were facing some technical issue earlier where our guests could not join in. I'm hoping that this time we're able to combat that. And Thank you, Sneha. Thank you for joining in. Thank you, others who are joining us again. We did start at 9 o'clock. Unfortunately, due to a technical reason, our guests could not come in. So we're trying to patch that. The team is working on it. And Today's topic is on homeschooling, a topic which has made a lot of rounds. Um, uh, Yes, I think our panelist is here. Um, should work this time round. Waiting for her to join in. In the meanwhile, as I was saying, that Kids OK Please Live is we have two live sessions happening every week where we invite panelists who may be educators, who may be parents, any part of the children's ecosystem are most invited here, and we hope to explore their side of the story and share it with our audiences. So um, uh, Waiting for our guests to join in. I'd request our team to inform our guests that through that account, I did try adding her, but it seems that it's showing that it's waiting and she's unable to join in. I'm going to try once again if I can. Um, Let me see if it happens this time. Hi, Crystal. I believe you can hear me, but your video is not coming in live. So, is there another account that you can participate with? I'll ask my team to get in touch with you and look at it. Um, yeah. Hi, Ridiksha. Okay, so I guess is gonna try and join in from another account. Um, and if the team could tell me which account that is from, so I could quickly let her in. Hi, Vishu has joined in. Hello, and thanks for coming in for Kids OK Please Live. It's a light-hearted chat around various topics, and today's topic is homeschooling. For the people who are new to Kids OK Please, we're a platform which focuses on bringing the best that we can for children in terms of events and otherwise. Hi, Shanky. Hi, Kim. Uh, there are a lot of people who are joining in as we speak, and most of the people are going to view it later on IGTV. And all you got to do is go on our page, Kids OK Please. Um, uh, it's now actually been exactly 2 months since we went live. We've had such a fabulous response from parents, from educators, from so many people within the industry. Well, I think now our guest has come in through a different account, and I hope we can. Okay, I'm gonna see that got declined again. Um, could the team confirm as to which account is Crystal going to be joining in? Because there was one more account that she tried joining us through, but that got declined. Um, yeah, yeah. I'm waiting to hear from the team. Right. While we're waiting for guests to come in, I was talking about Kids OK Please that we've completed 2 months now. Yes. Hi, Crystal. It showed that it declined. So is is there? Could you try this again, please? Okay, send a request. I'm gonna try this again. Yes. Hi,
God,
Crystal.
I am so sorry.
No worries, no worries. I completely understand. Sometimes it can be so off, but I'm glad that we're now able to go live. So first of all, everyone, guest is here. Crystal, she's a very dear friend and an alumnus of Christchurch School, my alma mater. And let me quickly introduce her, the formal introduction. Our guest today is Crystal D'Souza. She is the owner of Fun Factory, and she's a managing partner at Fun Factory, which is an entertainment events company specializing in children's events and parties. She is a live events compare, creative visualizer, professional party planner. She's skilled in all aspects of hosting parties and events, no matter how large the group may be. All company creatives, personnel are carefully selected and thoroughly trained under her guidance. And she's been in this business for the last 20 years. You can check out the company and more details on www.funfactory.in. With that very a brief introduction about Crystal, where there's so much more to her. I know her personally. Very welcome, Crystal. Good to see you again. Uh, um, and
Hi,
coincidentally,
Ritesh.
we finished 2 months of Kids Okay Please today. So very
Wow,
excited.
congrats.
Thank you, thank you. Uh, I was just filling in the people who joined us that Kids Okay Please has had over 200 events already listed. There are so many coffee and childhood sessions and live sessions that have happened. Our mobile application is ready, and there's so much more that's going to happen starting next month, and looking forward to that. How have you been? How are things at your end?
Good. I just realized that I think we've been like in 5 months of lockdown so far.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's almost, and as it's been crazy, but thank goodness to my family being very used to me working from home and my daughter anyway homeschooling that it hasn't been such a difficult adjustment because we were already in the process of being home most of the time. But I can
yeah.
imagine it for other parents who are now trying to adjust to working from home, having their kids at home. It must be really, really tough.
Yeah, I can just imagine. I mean, I think everyone is going through that phase where they're trying to understand how to balance it, and
Yeah.
it's been a tough 5 months, and I think now that we've understood how to work around a scenario like this, we're hoping to see better things come out. Well, for all the people who are joining in, hi Julfa again. She's a mompreneur and a blogger. She's very active with our page. Hi Priya. There are a lot of people who are joining in, and I can tell you, Crystal, that this topic is something that everyone wants to know more about. They have no
Yeah.
idea what happens
I can
around.
see a lot of my friends joining in also. Hi, everybody. I can see Rima and Engelbert. Quite a few friends joining in of mine. I can see them popping up. I'm
Yeah,
so sorry for
absolutely,
the delay.
absolutely. No, welcome
Good.
everyone, and I can tell you that the next 30, 40 odd minutes are going to be about understanding what's been the journey so far for Crystal when it comes to homeschooling her daughter, and I'm looking forward to her sharing her experience. Let me begin by just quickly talking about this topic. Homeschooling has become a dining room chat topic for most families who are with very very young kids or kids who are growing up in this very uh, rigid schooling system, which does not look at kids as kids, because it's been for many years that all kids, if they're of the same age group, they need to be in the same class and they need to be told the same thing again and again. And then they have the pressure of exams and a whole lot of other things. So parents want to know about homeschooling. In every session that we've had, we've tried to ask everyone that, what do you think about homeschooling? And I think their fair idea about that has been that I need to give in time, there has to be a curriculum, but no one knows exactly how it happens. So here we have Crystal. I'm looking forward to hearing from her what this is. So, first question, Crystal, um, uh, uh, what is homeschooling? Tell our audience what is homeschooling and how is it different from the regular schooling. For everyone who's tuned in now or who's going to look at this later.
Right. So, I guess to put it very simply, like homeschooling is where you just have your child at home. You're doing all the schooling work from home. You have no fixed curricula. You have no fixed timings where they have to be in a formal education system. You right now, I have progressed to the next level of homeschooling. But if you're asking me about basic homeschooling, it is somewhere where you're encouraged to choose a curriculum, to choose a syllabus and work with that syllabus from home at your own time and your own pace, giving your child the space to grow and develop as he or she wishes. So there's no hard and fast fixed timing. There are no bells that ring. There are no major alarms that go off. It's a lot of flexibility that you're giving your child.
Okay. Okay. So, Crystal, why don't you, describe as to what has been the journey? As to when did the homeschooling trend hit you? And I think you didn't take it up because it was a trend. It was something which was a necessity. So, could
Yeah,
you
it was a
do,
necessity for me.
could you talk to us about when did this start? How did this start? And take us through the journey. I think it'll be so exciting for everyone to hear this. Yeah.
Wow, sure, sure. So, my child has always been a little different, that's what I have experienced. Since the time she's been a baby, there were not many things that were similar to other children. I was a preschool teacher and I ran my own nursery school business. So I know very well, how to use little tactics. My mom has been in education for about 30 years and as a preschool teacher, as you know, Ritesh.
Yeah.
So we were very well versed with tricks and tactics that you could use that would just work on all children in general. And I used to enjoy my nursery school a lot. I myself enjoyed my school life a lot. So, there was nothing that I thought would be, stopping my child's education in any way. I thought she's going to join in the nursery class, and yeah, she's going to go up right up to the 12th, standard and do brilliantly well in the formal education system. One thing that I didn't want to do is I just did not want to put her in a preschool, which was something that, yes, I was running myself, but I was running it on a slightly different basis. I didn't do reading, I didn't do writing. We just did a lot of playway method, and I couldn't find any other nursery school that would give her that. So I wanted to join her in at 3.5 into a regular school, which I did. I found a beautiful school, which was all about the child, all around the child. They had circular seating methods, they had green boards, they had low blackboards, they had methods in which the little more intelligent children would sit with the little weaker children and they would all discuss. They had playway method. I loved everything about it, but my child just would not adjust. She just would not. She did not. I mean, the basics of any school, no matter how flexible it is, it has to follow certain rules and regulations, of course.
Yes.
And my child did not like uniforms. She did not like buttoning up her collar. She did not like wearing her socks and her shoes on top of it. She did not like carrying a bag. She did not looking like the other children, and she didn't like the uniformity of the whole thing, and she just could not communicate that to me. So that was when she was around 3.5. I used to have a lot of temper tantrums, a lot of crying, a lot of stomach aches. But we went through that first year. We went through it till she went into the preparatory, which was still okay. It was all playway method, and we, being a small little thing, we used to bully her. We used to send her off. In the first standard, it just was a huge leap. It was a huge leap from preschool to I think it's called primary school. So from preschool to primary, it was a gigantic leap. From having 3 breaks, they went to having 1 break. From having no books, they went to having a whole bunch of books and a heavy bag. From being with her peers for 2 years, they separated her, they mixed up all the children and put them into different classes.
Yeah.
From doing absolutely no writing whatsoever, they just started writing. And my child just began to get sick, sick. And the temper tantrums were terrible. Literally screaming with stomach pain, unable to get up in the morning, holding onto my leg at the entrance of school. And we had a lot of other emotional issues that basically at that time I was going through as well. I was going through a separation in my marriage, and I suppose she was not able to, the primary school does a lot. They focus a lot on family. They focus on
Yes.
daddy, mummy, and family, because that's what's in the books, and you have to do it that way. And they are presuming that all children are having a family. What happens to children who don't have a family? So my child could not participate. So if it was English, it was about family. If it was reading, the stories were about family. If it was mathematics, it was about the family. Everything I realized later was surrounding family. So my child was suffering very badly emotionally because we had just gone through a separation and she could not communicate that to me. So probably that heightened her being a different child, and an emotional problem at home kind of heightened the whole experience for her. And it was just becoming a huge mess, to the extent that I had to put her into counseling, knowing that she's a completely normal child, knowing that she's extremely bright. I had to meet with the school counselor, and at the age of 6.5, my child had to go to the counselor. She was there once every day, and very slowly and beautifully she began to reveal things in drawing form and in talking, that she just didn't want to come to school no matter what. She just did not want to come to school. And she would tell me at home, Mama, I will go to school, but I will go to the nurse's room. I will not sit in the classroom. So this was
Must have
what
been tough.
actually pushed me to start searching for alternatives, because I was actually in a desperate situation.
Right, right. So I think I can't even begin to imagine the ordeal, what you would have gone through, what your mom would have gone through. I know Mrs. D'Souza, she's been a wonderful teacher back then for us. And the child herself, what is she going through? Because how do you communicate that? How do you communicate the angst? And which is something that most parents on all our shows have told us that they follow a set pattern. For them, everything is, this is how it should be done. But every child is different. How do you handle that? And before things can go out of hand, can you manage it? Can you communicate with your child better? If you don't communicate, and because you have your dreams, you have your set patterns and things like that, if you're not communicating, if you're going through a certain family situation, whatever it may be, it can lead to something difficult. And I can just try and comprehend as to what it would have been in terms of the 3.5 to 5.5 journey for her. So tell us as to what happened next. What was the next step that you took towards and this bold step towards homeschooling? What was the next step?
Right. I just want to make a point here that, I was a parent that was very open to counseling. A lot of times parents, try to solve the issue at home. They try to work it out with whatever they have. Sometimes they think that just a little bit of extra force on the child would be required, or, it would pass. But I was a parent that was very open to counseling, and I actually was the one who who confronted the school to allow my child to enter into counseling immediately. So that stigma, I would request parents, if their child is playing up, not wanting to go to school, not being able to adjust, there could be some issue that they are not able to communicate with their parent directly. So taking a step to get your child counseled would be an exceptionally good step, because what the counselor can do with your child, and the way they can bring out the child's expressive the child's expressions, is that the methods they use is way beyond what a parent can actually use. So it
Agreed.
was actually counseling that finally got me to understand that my child would not be able to adjust into the formal education system. I couldn't even dream, that I would have to take her out of school. I just thought that it's this school won't do for her. I'll just have to go to another school, and then I
Yeah.
would probably have tried that school and gone to another school. So, I would suggest that parents would accept counseling for their children if there are any sort of family issues or any sort of illnesses at home, or the death of a parent.
Yeah.
These are things that really, really affect children. They feel very, very helpless, and they
Yeah.
want to have some control in the situation. And this is the way you will come to know, how to help your child better.
I think
Uh,
it was such a brave thing to do, because the social stigma of counseling is directly linked to that. Is there
yes.
something wrong with the child? Well,
Yes,
if you're sick, you go to a doctor.
there is
So
absolutely nothing wrong with your child. There
there is
are only
absolutely
things wrong with the parents, okay?
parents.
So there is absolutely nothing wrong with your child.
I
So you
agree.
can just have that. If there's
Yeah.
any issue, it is just something that the parent and child have to work out together. And right now, I can honestly say, parents will label your child ADHD. They will just put any unable to cope, hyperactive. I will tell you that my journey with homeschooling, from a hyperactive, angry, sick child, within 5 months, maybe 3 months of taking the step, my child absolutely calmed down. She just calmed down. That was the biggest achievement. And you were asking me what was the next step I took. The next step I took was I began to meet the counselor once a week myself. My ex-husband began to meet the counselor once a week himself. We began to take out the time to meet. We learned a lot of things, and I began to then research. I researched and I researched over the internet for alternative solutions.
Yeah.
And the beautiful thing about technology now is that people are willing to share. They,
Yes.
you have such you things that you can't imagine people will be shared on the internet. All you have to do is to search. And I
Yes.
began to find a lot of situations similar to my child. And from that, this word kept popping up: homeschooling, homeschooling. And I did not want to do it. I did not want to do it. For me, my school life was so enjoyable that I did not want to deny my child a school life. But after a lot of talking to many, many of my friends, my very close friends who I know have the best at heart for me, while talking to my mom, who I know has the best at heart for me, after talking to um, people who have already preschooled their children, because you will start finding people. Once you start looking, you will start
You will
finding.
find people.
So
Correct.
I started finding people who had already preschooled who had homeschooled their children. And I started talking to them over the phone, going and visiting them, going and talking to their kids who had already, completed their 10th standard privately and their 12th standard privately. And I realized it's not, such an unknown thing. There are people who are doing it in Bombay, in Goa. I traveled to Goa. I met a few families there. So all while, juggling my child's tantrums and her going to school. So all the holidays during that time were spent, doing this kind of research. So I suggest a lot of research, personal research.
Yeah.
Find things that suit you, because every child is different and you want to give your own child the best.
Yeah. I think very interestingly, you brought up a point about research, that with the internet allowing us to read so many blogs, see so many
Yeah.
videos, connect with people who are experts in this space or who've gone through similar experiences, it just becomes simpler. All you got to do is have the intent and think of your child more than anything else. I also want to go back to the point where you mentioned that a lot of parents, while parenting and in their personal, professional, other frustrations, may end up forcing a certain rules or ways on their child, which can have such a negative impact. So we try and convey in every possible way through our platforms that one needs to be very careful, treat children as children. They are not adults, they've not gone through life experiences to understand why they're doing it. They're experiencing it for the first time, and that needs to come out really, really well.
Yeah.
Wonderful points, Crystal. So what when you spoke of what's happened after that initial ordeal of how did you start working towards lessons? Why, how did you start working your timing around it? Because you were managing
Right.
a professional career, you were growing your respective entrepreneurial stints that you
Right.
had, and your professional career in that way. So what was that like? How did that balance? Who were the most important people making that happen for you? And then what were the challenges that you were facing around?
Yeah, well, I couldn't hear you too clearly, Ritesh, but I did get your question.
Yeah.
See, the one for me personally, I was very blessed because I ran a children's entertainment company with a partner. So he would, he was very flexible. He could do a lot of the running around. I could tone down a little bit so that I could be home for my child. I would
Yeah.
not recommend homeschooling where both parents would be at work and then the child will be home with the maid all day. It just does not make any sense. So I
Yeah.
can understand, the problems that parents will face. But I had already decided when my daughter was born that I was going to do things that were in her best interest in any case. And that was very, very strongly stuck in my mind. So when I had to tone down my work a lot, I was already working from home. I'm in the children's birthday party business. So we do children's birthday parties on a professional level. So I would tone down a lot. I would take meetings from home. I would leave for a short while and come back. I had very good support. My mom and dad were at home, and they are your own people. You're not depending on anybody else. So I would work maybe 2 or 3 hours a day. Definitely, my income fell. Definitely, I had to give up on a lot of my dreams. Yes, I mean that is something that I just could not manage. But in any case, I realized it was always in the back of my mind. Should my child fall sick? Should she start having a mental trauma? Um, should she always have it stuck in her mind that my mom didn't do enough, for me? I'm going to anyway be losing out on a lot of income. I mean, if she falls mentally ill, I'll be spending on counselors. I'll be running helter skelter, and the kind of way she was behaving, I had never seen it in any child before. So that being said, I decided to tone down everything, um, and stay home more and only do my business when required. I gave my partner a lot of the load, and I really want to thank him for that. He was brilliant. He gave me a lot of support during that time, and we realized that we could manage. Things began to get much, much easier. As I told you, she stopped her tantrums, and then she began to watch me, and I began to explain to her how important it is for me to work from home and for me to bring income. And we started a whole new way of education from that point. And one of your questions was, what what do you follow? And how a parent was already conditioned into behaving a certain way. So
Yeah.
how do you change your mind? Yes, that's a very, very good point. So in the start of the interview, I did tell you that I have progressed from homeschooling now. So we do something called unschooling. and this is
Okay.
available on the internet at large. It's not very much heard of in India, but
Yeah.
it is a process where the parent now has to be unschooled. Every single thing that you've learned in school, you have to erase it and you have to start again with your child. So your child leads you and you follow in a loving and appreciative manner, only guiding for safety issues. Okay,
Okay.
when you think that it's going to be a safety issue. So you are now unschooling things that your teachers told you, that your peers told you, that your formal education system told you has
Yeah.
to be done in a particular way. So that is one of the very important things that parents have to do now. They have to unschool themselves and be more open. They have to start being yes parents. They have to say
Yes.
yes, but they have to say it in a way that it should be yes, but maybe I suggest. So it has a lot of patience. I mean, I have become the most different person from what I was earlier. It involves a lot of patience, but it makes you grow as a person. It
Yeah.
makes you look back and say, I'm a better person now.
Wow, what a wonderful thought altogether, unschooling. Because I would, and it's very easy for everyone to simply follow that this is what I did. That means it's right, but it may not be
Yes,
right for your child. And
yes,
I think
exactly.
that is what I think everyone who's tuned in, it's a or is gonna see this video later on our IGTV, must look up unschooling. All young parents or parents to be,
Yes,
unschooling is
yes.
going to be a
So,
very crucial fact.
Ritesh, I'll tell you about homeschooling.
Yeah,
Homeschooling earlier, around say 25 or 30 years ago, homeschooling came in as a concept to be against the formal education system. Okay, parents who began to realize that the formal education system would not do for them personally the way
yeah,
that they wanted to bring up their child. They wanted, it evolved and it emerged to go against the education system, the formal education system.
yeah,
But anything that goes against something, anything that you're protesting against, anything that you are inculcating some sort of hatred, is not really going to work in the long run. See, we have to have a love and acceptance for everything, and we have to try to fit into the system. We, being intelligent beings, we have to be able to adapt, and the most important thing about unschooling is teaching your child that above all, above everything, above everything that you do, love governs.
yeah,
Okay, a love for a topic, a love for a teacher, a love for a situation, a love for a craft, a love for anything will finally turn out right. A love for a parent, and displaying every day to your child that what you are doing for him or her is because of love, not
love,
because you
nothing
owe him
else.
anything or because he owes you anything. It's
Wow.
because just for the baseline that you just love him or her, and he needs to love you back in the same manner. Once, I mean, they say that love covers all faults, right? So
Yeah,
that's what unschooling is all about.
yeah. No,
So,
I think,
homeschooling was created in a very strict manner. Parents would
yeah,
remove their children because sometimes they couldn't even send them, long distances. But
yeah.
and then they would try to follow the curriculum. They would have timings. They would try to do everything exactly according to school. It just doesn't work. In the age of technology, it does not work.
Wow. No, I think what a wonderful thought. Everyone who's tuned in now is going to simply go back with a very refreshed parenting method. It's wonderful. You- So, before I move on to the other thing, I wanted to talk to you about something that I read very recently, about the larger challenges, and I know that I'm going back to the
Sorry, I
audience.
didn't get you, Ritesh.
I'm talking
What
about
challenge?
there are challenges around homeschooling that, when a
Oh
parent is
yeah,
that how am I going to do this? So how do I handle the concept of socialization or
right,
sports or
right.
simply if there are two children in the house and one of them is going to school and the other is not,
Yeah.
how do you work towards those challenges? How do you condition yourself? And I know you've already covered that, but would you wanna tell everyone that any one of these challenges which came out, and how did you ace that? How did you work around it? Yeah.
Right. So I get this question a lot, what are the challenges you face
Yeah.
being a homeschooling parent? And I want to put it to the parents who are actually schooling their kids. Aren't you facing challenges schooling your children? You are also facing equal amount of challenges. When we see things as a challenge and not a problem, it can always be overcome. And if we take it in a positive manner, it can always be overcome. At least I know that whatever challenges I'm facing is because of my choice, my freedom of choice, which I have exercised. Parents who are institutionalizing their children unfortunately have to face challenges which are of no fault of their own. They know their child has to go to school from 9 to 5, but all of a sudden there's a half day called and they just have to rush and pick up their
You have to
children.
rush.
All of
Yeah.
a sudden, 10 days uh, unnecessary holidays are given. They have to just adjust the entire timings and everything. Sometimes buses are not available. Sometimes
Yeah.
school buses don't run. You have to run, drop your child, come back. Isn't that a challenge? Those are also
Absolutely.
challenges. You guys
Yeah.
are also facing challenges. Sometimes you have textbooks, piles and piles and piles of textbooks that have to be bought for a lot of money, which you're not using at all. That's a
Yes. Yes.
challenge.
Yeah.
So getting your child to keep up with the rest of the class, that's a challenge. So these are challenges that you face. I face similar challenges, but we can handle them. They are challenges that we can handle. So challenges that I face would be that um, you asked me about socializing.
Yes.
Number one, children don't go to school to socialize. They go
Yes.
to school to learn to conform. Go to school to learn to obey rules and regulations. They go to school to perform. Because in school, if you perform, you're accepted. If you
Yes.
don't perform and you're not up to the level, you're not accepted. So they do not, please don't get this idea that they go to school, that you're socializing them. You are not socializing them.
Yes.
You
Yes.
are
Absolutely.
institutionalizing them. You are
Wow.
teaching them to learn, to be the underdog, and to always obey instructions. Because then you're accepted. Don't be different. That's what you're teaching them. And that's what the
Wow.
system teaches them.
Yeah, I think it's about the system only, right? Because we've been put in a system, we've been put in a grid, and we've been thinking like that only. And for all the parents who've joined us right now, I think Crystal, over the course of the last 30 minutes, has shared some wonderful thoughts about love being the primary reason why things are being done, or it should be one of the biggest tools of parenting. We've seen that challenges are really in our minds. It can happen if you're sending your child to school. Challenges are in the similar way when you're homeschooling them. You need to speak and converse and communicate with your child at all point of time and understand them as a different person, not just as an extension of you, that whatever you think is right for them, and not put them in that situation. What wonderful thoughts, Crystal. And I think everyone who's listening right now or will see this later has just so much to take away, that they need to refresh the way they're thinking how parenting would work. I'm going to keep all the other challenges and all the other boring questions away. What I want to know is that how and again it goes back to a very system based question, that at some point of time the child is going to grow up and is going to be becoming independent in terms of taking decisions, going out there, getting ready, to live their life on their own terms. I personally feel that homeschooling gives you that opportunity to really shape one person's life in a very, very good way. Um, so, how's that part coming along for you? And you want to add something around that? That what's
Yeah,
this next phase been like for you? Yeah.
yeah. The kind of homeschooling that I advocate with my child is learning through life experiences. Um, because we have now so much of time that we share together, I talk to her all the time. And it's always about loving the present and learning about the future, being ready for the future. When I go to the bank, I make sure that she comes along with me. If I'm opening a checkbook, she needs to know why I'm using a checkbook. She needs to know about accounting in a bank, what is a cashier, what is a teller. She sees everything with her own eyes. She knows that she needs to learn number names. She needs to spell number names because she has to write a check someday. If she doesn't know how to spell the number name, she's not going to be able to withdraw that amount of money from the bank. So it's
Yeah.
all practical information. I travel with her a lot. When I travel, I'm so I love my life now so much because I can travel with her when other children are in school. So our tickets are cheaper, our flights are not so full. We don't have to rush around during the holiday season, trying to book our tickets in advance. So I'm able to travel with her, and every step of the way, I'm talking to her about the airport, about the bus journey, about the train journey. I show her the platforms. When I'm traveling, sometimes I'm doing a meeting and I need to take a train. I make sure I take a train. I sit with her in the train. I talk to her about the platforms. I talk to her. We live in Mumbai, so I talk to her about the Central Railway, the Western Railway, the Harbour Line, how it's separated, where do the trains join, how you can read the boards at the train station. So equipping your child for life happens this way. It really doesn't happen in a classroom. I think that's what we have all experienced. I
I
think my child will be very well equipped in terms
Wow.
of
So
life learning.
yeah, I've shared this with you that I'm a father to two
Yeah,
boys. They've just turned
yeah.
3 last month, and I come from the same school of thought where I will ensure, and this was as early as when they were 1.5. I did take them for a bus ride. They're so fascinated by modes of transport, and I realized that it's not important, those Disneyland trips and things like that. It's you who needs to be there with them and talking to them about these things, whether it's a simple bus ride or anything else. You be spending that kind of time with them, which is the most important bit. So completely understand what you just said, and I'm sure everyone who's heard us thus far, completely relates to what you're talking about, and they will try and incorporate it, even though they'll go for the normal schooling, the rigid format that we have. Although I'd like to tell you that my team tells me we did a little bit of research to put out that now there are alternatives that have come up. Facebook has invested into an alternate school, and
Sorry, Ritesh, you're not clear.
yeah, I'm
I'm
saying
just
that.
losing. Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
much
Yeah.
better.
So I'm saying that there are some alternate options that have started, and people are really taking this up seriously. That there is Facebook, who's invested very heavily into alt schools. There are elementary schools that are now going to start in Mumbai, where kids of different age are going to be together. It's not book driven. It's a different way of learning it. So people are finding alternatives to the rigid school patterns which are there, and homeschooling is something that everyone is interested towards. It's I think, as you said, people need to do that extra research, to look
To
at it,
find
and
what suits them, what suits
absolutely.
them. And by the way, since the last 5 months, we are all homeschooling.
we're all homeschooling. There's absolutely
The whole world is homeschooling.
the
So,
whole world is homeschooling.
I really want to thank some of my friends. They are online right now watching me, Kim, and
Yeah,
Engelbert, and there's a lovely girl called Frian.
Freyan, yeah,
Invariably they kept stepping in to give me the assurance that things are going to work out beautifully. And at sometimes
wow,
it was so dark. Everything was so dark in front of my eyes. Sometimes I used to worry. And, in the last 5 months, when I'm thinking of the amount of fees that I've saved, I don't know if I should be saying this, but people are paying fees and their children are sitting home. So I feel so happy about that because there's so much more that I can do with that,
yeah,
with my income, in terms of everybody's homeschooling. It's like a miracle. So if you
yeah. I
love
mean,
it, if you're, yeah. I
I,
mean,
I,
of
I
course, they are formally being taught,
yeah.
which we don't do. But if you just give it a try, if you don't have that constant nagging of sitting in front, I would not recommend sitting in front of the laptop or the computer for hours together. This is something that is really damaging, and it's not part of homeschooling at all. Of course, it's really not.
Fantastic. I think, Crystal, we've had a wonderful time. Just knowing a little bit more about homeschooling, your journey. Great to have you back on one of our shows, Kids Okay Please Live. And can't wait to actually see you in person one of the days, wherever that's possible. But before we part, I wanted to quickly tell you that the last 2 months, as I was mentioning earlier, we realized that a lot of parents who were literally homeschooling were torn between what to do in terms of education and otherwise. And we took it in our hands to now ensure that around multiple categories, we can ensure that there is a certain way in which they simply log into our platform and can really ensure that their children are participating in more and more things. So which is going to be launching next month soon. But anyways, my final question to you is, Kids Okay Please, you know what our team is doing. What are your thoughts? Anything that you would want to tell us? Something that we should be actively bringing to the platform? Happy to hear your feedback on that.
If you just continue to spread messages like these, which bring hope to parents, sometimes parents in the city, even though the city is so crowded, or why the city, anywhere, because we have so much of stuff to do all the time, but still there is an emptiness inside. And if you bring good messages to parents so that they realize that there is hope, children are going to grow up quick. It's not that long, and things are going to pass. Problems are going to pass, and there's no need to sweat the small stuff. Ritesh, take that message out to parents. There's
Yes.
no need to sweat the small stuff. Let it go. Enjoy the moment. Do things that make you extremely happy. Enjoy your child. Laugh with your child. Uh, 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 expe- uh, Take every experience as a learning experience. Eating pizza could be a learning experience. I mean, don't say no. Just go for it. Encourage parents to just let the small stuff go and see the bigger picture, because that's what your child is going to remember you for. He's not going to remember how many marks he's got and what percentage, how much you pushed him to be the best in the class. He's not going to, he may remember that, but he's not going to appreciate that memory as much as maybe every night cuddling up together, eating ice cream from a bowl, and watching a little serial with one of his favorite movies, or maybe getting up late in the morning, singing a song, tickling your child and waking him up. Those are things that he's going to always remember fondly. So
Yeah.
bring that message to the world, and I think you'll do great. I think we need more platforms like you guys,
Thank
especially
you.
with people like with a genuine heart like you, Ritesh.
Thank
You've
you. Thank you.
always been brilliant, and I've always admired you. And
Thank
now
you.
you're
Thank
doing
you, Kristen.
something wonderful.
I can tell you the inspiration. Like for you, your daughter is your inspiration. For me, it's both my children, and we can just hope that we can give them the best. But what I'm taking away from your session today is, some of it's just refreshed the way I'm going to parent year on. And while I was worried, just a week back, I was worried about school forms and what's going to happen and is my child learning enough. I just realized, and I'm glad that we've had this chat. That it's not going to be tough at all. In fact, I just need to enjoy my child's childhood, and it's all going to fall in place. So wonderful
See,
thought.
the pandemic is definitely going to change the way people look at education. They are beginning to now realize that what your child is doing in 5 hours, he can do in half an hour. There are a lot of things that are going to change, with this new experience that parents are having, and hopefully it's for the better and in the better interest of the child. That's what I
Yeah.
feel.
Thank you, Crystal. My regards to Mrs. D'Souza,
Helen,
please.
yes,
Uh, and hope to see Fun Factory have a wonderful year ahead too. For all
we
those
are
people who
hopeful.
tuned in are going to see this, Crystal plans and hosts some of the best birthday parties for children. So please do reach out to her.
Thank
I've
you.
seen the enthusiasm that she brings to a birthday party, and birthday parties are the best memories that children have. So you got to invest that in the right way, the
Birthdays
best way
are the biggest thing for the child.
for
They
the
are
child.
planning
So
their birthdays. By the time one birthday is over, they are planning their second birthday. You're gonna
absolutely,
come to that stage, Ritesh. You'll remember me.
absolutely. I would always. Well, thank you so much once again, and thank you for
Thanks.
everyone who's tuned in. And whoever is going to see this later, you all can catch this on IGTV on our page, Kids OK, please. Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.